Several studies have put saffron to the test against ADHD symptoms, and the results are actually quite impressive. For instance, one study compared the efficacy of saffron extract and methylphenidate in children and adolescents. Methylphenidate is a common prescription medication used in ADHD. Do you want to know the results? Well, saffron showed comparable efficacy to methylphenidate, especially in reducing hyperactivity symptoms. Welcome to the Soaring Child podcast, where parents of children with ADHD learn tips and tricks to help their child soar at home, at school, and in life. We feature interviews with experts, medical professionals, and parents just like you who are learning how to reduce ADHD symptoms using food and other natural strategies. Because children with ADHD deserve to soar just like every other child. I'm Dana Kay, your host. Hello, parents. This is Dana Kay here with another edition of the Soaring Child podcast. We're so excited to kick off a brand new series here on the podcast. It's designed with you guys in mind. We know how valuable your time is. So in the coming weeks and months, we'll be bringing you short, sharp, and to the point episodes a couple times each month, all about supplements that can help children with ADHD. Each episode will really focus on a specific vitamin or a specific mineral, breaking down the symptoms of a deficiency, where you can find it in everyday foods, the pros and the cons of supplementing, and we'll even have some downloadable cheat sheets to make it easier for you to stay informed. Make sure and check out the podcast description for the links to these cheat sheets for each episode. We are really thrilled and excited to bring you practical, science-backed tips that can support your child's well-being without taking up too much of your day. So without further ado, stick around for our first episode in the Supplements for ADHD series. Now, hello. Have you ever wondered if saffron could be beneficial to supplement for your child with ADHD? Is it really worth the investment? Or is it just another overhyped remedy? So I want you guys to grab a seat, grab your coffee or tea, and we're going to talk through the pros and cons of saffron for ADHD. Now, if you're new here to the podcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Dana Kay. I'm a board certified health and nutrition practitioner, and I specialize in helping families of kids with ADHD learn natural strategies to reduce symptoms. If you have a child with ADHD and are looking for natural ways to support them, I want to invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss any future podcast episodes. So let's dive in. Okay, saffron extract. It's really known for its sort of vibrant hue or color and its really unique flavor. But I want to tell you, it's not just a spice for the kitchen. I definitely recommend adding it there because this spice gives dishes an amazing flavor that I absolutely love and my family love as well. But recently, it's been in the spotlight for its potential in managing ADHD symptoms. And this interest stems from saffron's unique properties. They're packed with antioxidants and bioactive compounds that some suggest can really positively influence brain function and mood. Now, saffron is actually a spice, so it's not an essential nutrient like a vitamin or a mineral. And you can't do a test to see if you're deficient in saffron. That is not it. Saffron may have health benefits like improving mood or cognitive function, but it's not something the body needs in the same way as essential vitamins and minerals. I want to talk to you a little bit about how it works. Now, saffron may help alleviate symptoms like inattention, restlessness, and mood fluctuations by actually influencing neurotransmitters in the brain. And its active compounds such as cochrane and safranol are believed to enhance serotonin levels. Talk about serotonin a lot on the podcast. It's a neurotransmitter that's crucial for mood regulation and emotional stability. And improved serotonin balance can lead to better mood, and reduced emotional ups and downs, and really potentially benefit those who struggle with focus and impulsivity. While direct effects on dopamine, though, are less established, saffron's influence on serotonin might actually indirectly affect dopamine pathways that are involved in attention and reward processing. Now, additionally, saffron has antioxidant and anti inflammatory properties. And I talk a lot again in the podcast about how inflammation increases or exacerbates ADHD symptoms. So, really, by reducing oxidative stress and reducing that inflammation in the brain, things like cognitive function and behavior can be improved as well. So, saffron may support improved attention and mental clarity. Now, some preliminary studies also suggest that saffron might influence GABA activity. GABA is a neurotransmitter that calms the nervous system, which could help decrease feelings of hyperactivity and anxiety. So you can understand why there's so much buzz out there about saffron for ADHD. There is a lot of really promising research about it, but I want to break it down a little bit more. I want to talk about some pros, but also I want to talk about some cons of using saffron for ADHD because I think it's so important to look at both sides. Now, I'm going to start with the pros. Okay. So first of all, it's a natural alternative. It's a natural alternative for those seeking non-pharmaceutical options. Saffron's a natural supplement, and that has a significant draw, in my opinion. It has also been shown to be effective for some symptoms of ADHD. So studies have suggested that saffron may be effective in reducing symptoms of ADHD, particularly hyperactivity and impulsivity. I'm going to share some of those studies in just a bit. But it's also got those antioxidant properties, as I mentioned. Saffron contains antioxidants, which can be beneficial for overall health, reducing inflammation, and in helping that brain function. Another pro is mood improvement. Apart from addressing ADHD symptoms, saffron has been known for its mood enhancing properties, potentially benefiting individuals with mood dysregulation, and that is a common symptom, in my opinion, of ADHD. It might not be in the traditional classification, but I can tell you from all of the families I've worked with, and that's over 1,300 now, a lot of them experienced mood dysregulation. But it also has a really good safety profile. Saffron's generally considered safe when used in food and moderate therapeutic doses. It presents fewer side effects compared to traditional ADHD medication. So there's definitely some pros to using saffron for ADHD, but there are also some cons to be aware of. As you know, I like to share both sides. Now, one of the drawbacks is that it has limited research. While it's promising, research on saffron's effectiveness for ADHD is still limited. More extensive studies are needed to really fully understand its benefits and its risks. There's also inconsistency in dosage and quality. As a supplement, saffron, it's not regulated as strictly as prescription medications. And so that leads to potential inconsistencies in dosages and quality among products. That is why it is super important to buy quality supplements from a company that you can trust. The cost of it may also be prohibitive for some. High quality saffron can be quite expensive, which might be a limitation for some people. The next con is that saffron alone may not be a comprehensive solution for ADHD. It may not address all aspects of ADHD. It's often more effective when used in conjunction with other natural strategies. And like I always say, you can't supplement your way out of a poor diet or a body riddled with inflammation. So you should never look at supplements as the be-all and end-all solution. Another con to saffron may be the potential side effects. It is considered generally safe and much safer than strong prescription medication, but saffron may cause some side effects like dry mouth, dizziness, or allergic reactions in some individuals. Also, high doses may be toxic, just like with anything. Coconut oil is super great, but high doses may be toxic. So it's always remember to follow the recommendations provided by your health practitioner or doctor. And lastly, for the cons, it may interact with other medications. As with anything, there's always a potential for interaction with other medications, especially those that affect mood and brain chemistry. So, like other supplements, it's important to talk with your healthcare professional before starting anything new. Now, I want to share some of the research with you about saffron. Okay, several studies have put saffron to the test against ADHD symptoms, and the results are actually quite impressive. For instance, one study compared the efficacy of saffron extract and methylphenidate in children and adolescents. Methylphenidate is a common prescription medication used in ADHD. Do you want to know the results? Well, saffron showed comparable efficacy to methylphenidate, especially in reducing hyperactivity symptoms. Now, when I first came across this research, my mind was blown. The idea that a natural supplement like saffron could hold its own against a prescription medication, in my opinion, is indeed groundbreaking. And the good news doesn't stop there. Another study compared the safety and the efficacy of saffron versus methylphenidate in children with ADHD. Researchers tested effects of saffron extract on 54 children aged 6 to 17 with ADHD. Approximately half of the participants received saffron extract, while the other half received methylphenidate, which is a common prescription medication used to treat ADHD, as I mentioned earlier. Then they actually tracked ADHD symptoms at baseline, which is at the start, again at 3 weeks, and again at 6 weeks. Saffron showed equal efficacy as methylphenidate. Mind blowing. My mind was blowing when I read that. Short-term therapy with saffron exhibited similar effectiveness as methylphenidate. Think about it. A supplement potentially as effective as a prescription medication. It's really exciting to consider these alternatives. And I want to say, look, I am not against medication in all its uses. It is there for a purpose. But if we can find other natural strategies to help our children thrive, why wouldn't we? And I will also say that, unfortunately, a lot of the money that goes into research studies are provided from big companies like pharmaceutical companies to research and to pay for that research is expensive. So when you don't have that funding, it's hard to fund further studies. And that's why you might find less studies or less peer-reviewed studies out there relating to natural approaches or relating to supplements. So I just want to put that out there. I'm not totally against medication, but, I think that if it had the same level of funding as the pharmaceutical industry, the potential thought and excitement on what we could explore would be amazing for our kiddos and for ourselves. It's really exciting to consider these alternatives. I want to ask you, have you ever wished you could find a supplement that would work as well as medication at reducing ADHD symptoms? This is definitely how I felt years ago when trying to help my son with ADHD. Back then, every day was a challenge. Every day was more of the same, refusal to even the most basic instructions, meltdowns over things that felt small, arguments nonstop, emotional dysregulation. And it was literally on this repeat day after day. And it got so bad, I eventually dreaded getting out of bed. And, I'm wondering, listeners, if you've ever been in a similar situation with your child, have you ever had to endure an epic meltdown with the world looking on? And if you have, I want you to know that you're definitely not alone. Back then, before we learned how to reduce my son's ADHD symptoms, I was desperate for that magic pill. That magic pill that was going to fix our home. And I'm wondering if you've ever wished that as well. Honestly, when my son was finally diagnosed with ADHD and then prescribed his first medication, methylphenidate, go figure, I thought we found it. But then only a few weeks later, the side effects began. And in fact, his side effects were so bad that he ended up on 3 medications at one time. And only one of these was for his ADHD. The rest, and the 4th that the doctor wanted us to add in, were only to counteract the side effects. Finally, I said to myself, enough was enough. Medication was not working for our family. You know, as I said, I'm not totally against medication, but I just knew deep down that 4 strong medications in my young son, many of them giving him significant side effects, was not the right thing for us. So that's when I started researching natural strategies, but I still wanted that one pill, that one supplement that was going to be our miracle cure. And it took me a really long time to realize that as long as I was still feeding my son's body with foods that were not good for it, that were highly inflammatory, and that we weren't really getting to what was going on in his body, there was not going to be that miracle cure or that pill. I had to start cleaning up his body, cleaning up his diet, start reducing inflammation in his body, his gut, and his brain. But then once I did all of this, I reduced the toxic load, I changed our diet, I put into place some other natural strategies, I really started seeing that there were some supplements that were really super helpful for him. Because, here's the truth, and you'll hear me say this over and over again: you can't supplement your way out of a poor diet. But supplementation, especially when paired with other natural strategies that reduce inflammation in the body and the brain, can support the body and help children with ADHD thrive. Okay. I've gone on a complete tangent here, and if you're new here, you might not realize it, but if you're old and you've been listening here for a while, you'll know that I do go on tangents. But one of my favorite supplements that I recommend regularly to families of kids with ADHD is a saffron supplement, because of some of this preliminary research that suggests it can be super effective. There was another study out there that highlighted the increasing trend in the use of ADHD medications and suggested saffron as a potential alternative. And finally, another study evaluated the effectiveness of methylphenidate alone and also in combination with saffron in treating children with ADHD. It found that the combined treatment was more effective than using each of them separately. While I'm very much in favor of natural strategies for ADHD, as I have seen firsthand how this can help so many kiddos thrive without the terrible side effects of meds, this opens up new avenues for integrated treatment approaches. While these studies are promising, it's not me telling you to stop any of your ADHD treatments your child is currently taking without your doctor or your healthcare professional's advice. It's crucial to remember that the quality and dosage of saffron supplements can vary significantly. So if you're considering this for your child, it's essential to opt for high quality products and really have a thorough discussion with your healthcare provider. So now you might be wondering, okay, how do I know if the saffron I'm seeing in the store is high quality or not? Great question. Unfortunately, there is poor quality control on supplements in this country, being the USA, which is where I live. There's incorrect labeling, strange ingredients that are often commonplace. In one article, actually, I read not too long ago, the authorities said they had conducted tests on top-selling store brands of herbal supplements at 4 national retailers. So they looked at supplements at GNC, Target, Walgreens, and Walmart. And it found that 4 out of 5 of the products did not contain any of the herbs on their labels. No, this podcast hasn't ended. I'm just silenced in shock and horror. The test showed that pills labeled medicinal herbs often contained little more than cheap fillers like powdered rice, asparagus, and houseplants, and in some cases, substances that could be dangerous to those with allergies. Crazy. So you can really understand why it's important to make sure you're getting high quality supplements that actually contain what they say they contain. How do you do this? You do this by buying from a reputable company that you trust. Of course, I'm partial to my own online store at the ADHD Thrive Institute because I know they are safe and they contain what they say they contain and they don't have any of those additives or fillers. And so here are just a few things that really set our ADHD Thrive line apart from others. Superior quality ingredients with proven efficacy that it's backed by science. We really do our best to not just meet, but exceed industry standards. We've got strict quality control for manufacturing, packaging, and storing. Not just anyone can manufacture, package, or store our products. We really have strict qualification requirements. Professional grade supplements that are formulated and manufactured according to our science-first approach, rather than focusing on convenience or, cutting costs. We really focus on quality. And I think it's super important. We don't cut corners anywhere, and we never include any fillers, additives, or, extras. What you see on the ingredient label is what you get. So that's where I buy my supplements from, for my family, of course. But I also like a company called Fullscript because I trust them as well. Now, you might be wondering which brand is my favorite supplement for Saffron. And my favorite is actually called Pro Essentials. I'm going to share all the benefits of this particular supplement coming up, but one of the main reasons is that it contains more than just saffron. So you're actually killing 3 birds with 1 stone. So this supplement actually contains 3 active ingredients. We've got spore-forming probiotics that actually can survive digestion and reseed the gut, because unfortunately many probiotic strains out there on the market can't even survive the digestive tract, but this one can. It contains something called Zembrin, which is a standardized form of Scaletium tortoisum, and this is a succulent plant which is native to South Africa. You've probably never heard of it, but it supports cognitive flexibility, executive function, and calm focus, while really helping to reduce occasional stress and mild anxiety as well. And of course, it contains saffron extract. And I love this saffron because it not only gives you the power of saffron, but it also combines it with the power of those probiotics and that Zembrin. And as you already know, improving that gut-brain connection is super critical for our kids with ADHD. A healthy gut equals a healthy brain. So I'll pop the link to this supplement in the podcast description. So look for that if you're interested. So as you can see, saffron shows some pretty amazing potential as a complementary approach for managing ADHD symptoms in children and in adults as well. But further research is needed to fully understand its efficacy and safety, and it should be used under the guidance of healthcare professionals. That's it for today, guys. I want to thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Soaring Child. If you found this episode insightful or helpful, please share it with others who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Dana Kay, your ADHD health practitioner. Keep on thriving. Thank you for listening to the Soaring Child podcast today. To learn more about how to help your child with ADHD soar using natural strategies, visit our website at adhdthriveinstitute.com and follow us on social media at ADHD Thrive Institute.